nuclear device. Time is running out. Time is running out. Gentlemen, it's a nuclear device. Time is running out. Time is running out. I've got a present for you.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another build guide. Today I'm gonna be presenting you with my season starter and what I think is the overall best beginner build in last Epoch, Warpath Void Knight. So in this guide I'm gonna be presenting with three planners which represent the three phases you'll be going through on your Warpath journey, starting from pretty much a very basic gear, no mana stacking, just 1 LP slammed uniques, which are very easy to get by now with the guaranteed slams, up to our mana stacker setup with the new idol system and corruptions, and the experimental setup, which I have a feeling is gonna be quite busted, but is quite hard to get going. As it does require 4 Weaver items. So yeah, let's start with the basic setup. So basic Warpath Void Knight. We are gonna be utilizing Apathisma as our main weapon. We're gonna be pretty much just stacking flat melee void across like every place we can get it, from the passive tree through the skill nodes themselves. The axe is very easy to farm. You can get it just from fighting regular shade in your monoliths. You just need minimum of 50 corruptions, so you can just get it from Impala monoliths. It is a very, very common item. You're also gonna be utilizing Abberoth alongside Siphon of Anguish and Shatter Chains, which all drop from Shade of Orbis, which is gonna streamline the farming by quite a bit. Let's go over the ring. So Siphon of Anguish provides with a lot of leech, increased leech rate, movement speed, which is very important for Warpath, as Warpath slows us down when we use it. Chance to apply Doom and Void Penetration with Doom. We don't care too much about the Void Penetration, but the chance to apply Doom on the ring, alongside the chance to apply Doom on the Apathies itself, synergize with our next item, which is the Shatter Chains. The now nerfed quote-unquote Shatter Chains, since now it will provide 5% more void melee damage rather than just more generic melee damage per stack of Doom on the target. And Doom stacks up to 4 times, so that's 20% more melee void damage just by using this belt alongside Apathies and Siphon. It also gives us a flat melee void, increased melee damage, increased armor. It has quite low legendary potential. We can realistically get a 12p, and we're gonna be slamming health on it alongside a chance to gain ward on potion use and 100% chance to cleanse ailments. Which is important because of our next item, Anchor of Oblivion. It's a boss drop, comes from Admiral Harton from the Fall of the Empire timeline. It is quite common. I did have some very RNG about farming the item with LP. 2 LP is achievable, but I would not bank on it. That's I think, especially this season, 1 LP uniques with good core option is much better than aiming for the high chance to get 2 LP. I do think fishing for 1 LP anchors and attempting to corrupt you have frenzy and reduce the effect of frenzy is gonna be much better than anything else I can put on the anchor. The tier 7 increase damage while channeling can be swapped with void damage instead. They have the same values, void damage. Yeah, they do get the same values, so if you get a relic with void or increased damage while channeling, either can be slammed in this place. It's a very nice piece of equipment. It pretty much caps us on endurance, 100% increased void damage, more endurance threshold, really a nice amount of strength. And this line here is the reason why we want to use the cleansing flask. Whenever a hit leaves us below our endurance threshold, we are slowed and release a powerful wave of void. So the Oblivion wave is like nice, I guess, but the issue is it slows us. So it gives us 3 stacks of slow, and when we already are using Warpath, which already slows us, and getting hit by this, we're gonna become very susceptible to being hit by things which otherwise should be avoiding. That's why we are gonna be using the cleanse potion. I think with this combo you can probably avoid Abberoth's attacks with relative ease. I still have not attempted it successfully, but it's pretty. I think people have done it already, and I think it's gonna work. Especially on the mana stacker variant. I don't know if non-mana stacker can kill Uber, but yeah, I'm like the version. Next item on the list, Dark Side. This is how we're gonna be moving fast with the build. It gives us 0.2 increase melee void per added melee void damage. So any added melee void damage from any source gives us 0.2 movement speed. So we get a load of melee void from our Apathismo, and that's why we're also using it because of the synergy. We get a little bit more from our shadow chains, and we are reaching around 67% movement speed. I think, no, actually, yeah, there we go. With increased movement speed, it reaches about 77. I don't know if this is including Warpath. Yeah, this is when you're Warpathing. So without Warpathing, this is your movement speed, obviously. So yeah, there's that. Next item is gonna be the Falcon Fists. Pretty much very common glove. Its effective level is 27, so getting 2 LP on these is quite achievable. You just slam tier 7 attack speed. You try to get that second tier 5 health on it. And if you can corrupt it as well for attack speed, that's gonna be amazing. I should also mention, none of the corruptions you see in this build planner, or in the others for that matter, are mandatory. These are just things you should be aiming for if you have extras. You should never corrupt your first and only piece of gear, as it can break the items. So only if you have copies, you can fish for upgrades. I would prioritize the relic first, and then the boots, which can give you slow immunity. Then we can, if you have slow immunity on the boots, you can slam hybrid health and percent health instead of the chance to remove ailments from flask. Yeah, so those are these gear pieces. Next is gonna be the Titan Heart. Titan Heart is a very like basic melee damage oriented body armor. It disables leech, but it disables regeneration, but we already are leeching quite a lot from our attacks. We do not rely on regeneration, so this is just effectively gives us increased melee damage, a lot of increased health, some lightning resistance, less damage. The big one is less damage taken while wielding a two-handed melee weapon, which is really nice defensive layer. We slam it with +4 to Warpath, tier 7 levels of Warpath. That's important, that's mandatory. We need the extra points because Warpath 3 is kinda point hungry. You want the extra points for extra damage and utility. Any point you get is gonna be quite nice. You can also slam +1 levels, but I think the stun immunity is a bit more value. I like being stun immune. Stuns are kind of annoying to deal with when they happen, so I prefer the stun immunity corrupt. Again, all corruptions not mandatory. Next one gonna be Exalted Leonine Great Helmet with excuse me, with yeah, with increased health, tier 7, some health, some vitality, some strength. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. You have to use a Leonine helmet base because of the implicit reduced bonus damage taken from critical strikes, which pretty much makes crits a non-issue, especially thanks to our passage, which brings it down to like 0% increased damage taken from critical hits, so that's really nice. The last gear piece is gonna be the Bone Amulet with tier 8 in Primordial Elevated, increased damage while channeling. Again, you can do void damage if you feel like. I like the damage while channeling. Again, if you can corrupt it with +1 to all skills, GG, you have a really amazing amulet for a non-mana stacker. If you can just craft health, get some mana regeneration. I like the frailty because we are hitting a lot. Frailty is gonna stack to maximum, reducing incoming damage, making this build even more tanky. We are gonna be getting around average about 8.3k armor, which translated to 75 armor mitigation, alongside about 4k health, with our idols covering most of our resistance issues, and two idols which are gonna be oriented towards damage, so increased echo damage when a skill is echoed, increased void melee damage. These are my picks. It can also do vitality and increase void melee damage. You can do either, or you can do more vitality if you feel like stacking vitality, which will give you more HP, also will give you more damage. You can go for echo damage, because we are focusing on echoing a lot with this setup. And the rest are just gonna be armor, resistances, armor resistance, armor resistance, avoid penetration and resistance if you need to use the resistances from this type of idol. Vitality on all of the two white idols, since we like stacking vitalities, void knights. And yeah, this is the gear. Blessings wise, you just grab increase void damage from Black Sun. You can go, or you can go health if you feel like. You can go mana from Lagon, because there's like nothing else better there. All resistances on the Reign of Dragons. Increased armor and increased armor while channeling from Spirits of Fire. Those are our blessings. Alright, so let's go over the basic Warpath passage. I'm trying to go like fast here because we have like 3 planners to go through, and we don't want this video to be as long as the usual format. So pretty much you grab your Juggernaut, Fearless, and Armorclad. Just get your 20 points. The standard Sentinel setup. You can put more points. I like putting more points into Void Knight. And then after you get to level 20, so this is gonna be your leveling setup as well. I think if we move the slide, you can also see how I'm scaling these skills. You can also follow the way I'm scaling them. And after we get to Void Knight, we can start putting points into our Abyssal Endurance. I get more points here. And then after I get 5 points for area, I swap immediately for Paladin to get the 15 points to enable Symbols of Hope. These points are very flexible. You can go with the 5-5-5 like I did. You can also go more points into Defiance if you feel like you want more elemental resistances, which you might, because the way we're gonna be leveling as Warpath kinda warrants more Defiance points. But if your gear is good and you keep crafting during campaign, you don't need to put more points into this. I feel like it's up to you. These 5 points are flexible, but need 15 points total in Paladin in order to unlock Symbols of Hope. So that's completely up to you and your preference. After that, just go through the Void Knight tree, get more HP, get some calling chance, you get some penetration, some mana regeneration. Mana again, mana skill echoes is big for this build, since we are gonna be stacking echo chance, maximizing the echo, getting some vitality, grabbing void wall because even with low mana it's kind of nice to have. Maximum echo and attack speed, grab the less void damage taken, I'm grabbing the vitality, and yeah, that's the end game tree. Wait, no, this is fine. We do not take Avatar of Regret because I do not like the increased mana cost, because it can ruin your mana sustain, because even though essentially Warpath will not be costing us any mana, we're still gonna be auto-casting a lot of other skills which do cost mana, so increasing mana cost is not nice, and reduced attack speed also feels kind of bad to take here, so I feel like for the 10% echo chance, this is not worth it for us. You could take it if you feel like you can just ignore the mana cost and if you feel like you don't need like more attack speed for like more quality of life, because the faster you hit, the faster you can go forward with your build. You just like take 1 point from here and put it here. Again, it's very flexible. Void Knight is like very forgiving class, very nice. So let's go over our skill tree. So I'm gonna be season starting this, so I'm gonna be starting Warpath. I'm not gonna be leveling as a 4-wing paladin, even though it's probably faster, but I just do not like rerolling. And if you also do not like rerolling, well, I have good news for you. You can just start this build as soon as you unlock Warpath, which is at character level 2. So in order to sustain Warpath in campaign, we have to get Reckless Spin. We have 2 points in Unchained, and in Reckless Spin, channel cost is decreased by 10, which means 8% mana per second, which is about the same as much as you regenerate. Once you are done with these points, you can start taking your void damage, your void conversion, more damage here. Leave this point for later once you unlock Abyssal Echoes. Grab the Iron Reach, Wheeling Steel. I think this point is nice for extra leech. You can remove this point and take Battle Masters. You can take more movement speed if you feel like you want to be faster. This point is like not mandatory. We grab 2 points in Dark Nexus because these points are being grabbed kind of last, because this is what helps us sustain our mana to cast Abyssal Echoes, Symbols of Hope, and Devouring Orb while we spin. And yeah, let's go over to Abyssal Echoes. Abyssal Echoes is pretty straightforward. It's gonna autocast because of this node here. Abyssal Tempest will be causing Abyssal Echoes to be cast every 5 seconds. We are gonna be taking immediately more area, damage, Abyssal reach the target location, and extra echoes. And then we're gonna go into Embrace the Darkness, so we get Nether Coating. Nether Coating just gives us a nice attack speed and extra damage against Blinded. We're gonna go grab Myopia, so be actually blind. You should probably, you could maybe skip this if you did grab more points into blind on the Paladin tree. I feel like taking this is kind of nice. It also like adds more blind sources. And then you get Armor Shred stacks and Armor Shred effect. And no, hold on. Wait. No, that's a mistake. Oh. You didn't see that, yeah. You have to grab, you want to grab the 3 points here, because we want a source of Time Rod for our build, because our Warpath is gonna be doing more damage, so, you know, we want to be Time Rotting all the time. So having Abyssal Echoes give us more Time Rot chance is kind of nice. You can probably get less points. If you have a lot of attacks, you can probably get less points here and take more points into Armor Shred effectiveness, but yeah, for lower attack speed, I feel like the Time Rot chance here is very valuable to make sure you get that extra damage from this Maw of the Deep. Next skill is gonna be Anomaly. So for Anomaly, you probably take you unlock Anomaly last on your journey, but you will have to yeah, but once you have it, you have to immediately grab these 5 points. If you do not have borrowed time, you cannot use Anomaly while you spin. And we never want to stop spinning. We always want to be spinning, so getting an instant cast, even if you get more cooldown, it's fine. It's worth it. Once you got borrowed time, you get immediacy, so it no longer sends enemies forward in time. Then you grab Time Bubble, you grab the Time Lord, so the bubble is on top of you, and then you can grab the attack speed and the more damage against just more damage from a bubble. You get take increased damage if they're inside your time bubble, so that's really nice because we are like very melee, right? So at least on this setup we are very melee. Symbols of Hope, again, you get the 2 extra symbols and you just convert them to void with these points. Yeah, very like simple. These points are like, we have like some extra points spread out because we have like +1 skills from corruptions, but yeah, just grab the +2 extra symbols, convert them to ward, grab the extra damage. Very straightforward. Devouring Orb. First you will take Abyssal Rush, so you can autocast while you're moving. You'll take some Cosmic Impact for extra void damage on impact. It's gonna help you, especially in campaign, since when enemies are like quite weak. Thank you, Cat, for going in front of the mic. Then we grab Void Adept, 2 points, and get Void Essence chance from Mr. Juggernaut. Again, we don't use Void Essences for mana yet, so this is like fine, I think, I prefer like the global damage and mana regeneration. And then we just go for the Void Shred here and the Abyssal Orb frequency. With the extra point you can grab a consume only half chance. That's basically the very basic Voidness setup. That's what we saw at the start of the video. Let's go over the mana stacker setup. So this one is a bit more complex. We are gonna be utilizing the Void Knight Void Well passive, which consumes 3 Void essences to grant me 30% of my mana back whenever my mana reaches negative. So the more mana you have, the more mana you get back. So right now, with this exact planner, we have around 1500. That's with like the pyramidal altars, with like the extra relics, so idols here, and we have like nihilists, and there are some like extra stuff in here. So let's go over the gear. Starting with World Splitter. World Splitter is the go-to mana stacker melee damage axe. You farm it from the Black Sun. Getting 1 LP is gonna be not too hard. You will be feeding it to the Nemesis until you find one with 1 LP, and then you just guaranteed slam percent melee critical strike chance. And if you feel like you have extra copies, you corrupt it. You try to hit critical strike multiplier, but there are like a lot of interesting corruptions that can be gotten here. We can get frenzy. We can get like increased attack speed and frenzy after using evade. If you wanna be using evade and then respinning, I don't think this is too good, honestly. Especially with mana stacker, you will not want to be stopping to spin at all. Add melee damage, and melee damage per strike also is not too bad to get. I think it multiplier is best one here for the corruptions. Increased melee area does not really help us, and you'll soon see why. But yeah, this is like, I think this is the best setup. If you, I mean, obviously if you get 2 LP, you can just slam crit multi, right? You can just like grab critical strike multiplier as your 2 LP, and then you just slam this and this, and then you have like an insane endgame axe. Good luck getting this. I don't know how feasible getting two double tier 7s are gonna be this season. They did nerf it quite a bit, so I do not expect them to be too common, but that's like something you can like strive for. Next one, it's the same Cycle of Anguish. This time we're gonna be playing crit. So in the basic setup, we just played pure hit damage, echoing, and just like stacking percent melee and just flat melee, no critical strikes at all, because getting critical strikes with Warpath is really hard unless you're playing with swords. So because we are playing with this axe here, which gives us a lot of critical multiplier per maximum mana, it's gonna be a waste to not use crits. So that's why we slam flat crit to alleviate the critical strike pressure from our Warpath. Getting a tier 5 critical here and tier 7 critical here, pretty much critical caps us. The rest of the points go into strength. The corrupts are gonna be also going to strength, if you can get them, if you can get something else, as long as it doesn't break you. You can get like whatever, you can get resistances, which can help you. I don't know, like whatever helps the build with your corruptions is good. I just put like whatever I think is best from the special corrupted implicits. We then go for the rest of the gear here. We have the same shatter chains, the same one. Again, if you can get 2 LP, you'll be putting a cleanse here. That's like always gonna be very big value. On the corruption side, very nice if you can get that percent increased mana. It will really help you get to your mana goal. You want at least 1000 mana to sustain Warpath, as far as I can tell. But we're gonna go over Warpath and the changes we got this season, why this build is now actually better, even though the patch seems to have nerfed it, but it's actually way better than it was before, and I'll explain when we get to the skill tree. Flames of Midnight, I like Flames of Midnight. It gives you swiftness, it gives you void penetration. It's really nice. Don't use the dash. Spirit Step, I feel like it's not that great compared to dash. And you just don't wanna, you never wanna stop spinning on this setup, on the mana stacker. So just don't use dash. You use this for extra damage and for the swiftness, because we need to move fast. Falcon Fists, pretty much the same. Instead of critical strike, just we slam tier 7 mana here, or tier 7 melee attack speed. I mean, it can be tier 5 mana and tier 7 attack speed, or vice versa. If you can get the attack speed slam on the corrupt, well, good job. You have a really good item. I still stay with the Dark Strides, especially after the Army of Skin nerf. I feel like Dark Stride is just better. We did lose a lot of flat melee void, but Wasp Splitter still has void melee damage, so and we still are using Shadow Chain, so that's like a lot of movement speed because we are still getting from using these boots. Obviously, we slam tier 7 movement speed. We try to fish for that slow immunity. Since we are still using Anchor of Oblivion, this time we're gonna be using an Echo with tier 7 mana rather than tier 7 damage while channeling. Again, if you can get the Frenzy, amazing. Your build is just like so much better now. If not, that's still fine. Again, because we're using Anchor, make sure you either get Cleanse or you get slow immunity. If you have slow immunity, you just slam double health. If you don't have slow immunity, you want to get 2 LP Shadow Chains and try to get slam health and cleanse. It's not gonna be too easy, but it's gonna be quite a lot of quality of life. Titan Heart with tier 7 level of Warpath and tier 5 mana. 2 LP Titan Hearts are quite common. Tier 5 is very manageable to get. Again, we don't know how easy it is to get double tier 7s. If you can get double tier 7, amazing. You'll have double tier 7, you'll have tier 7 mana and tier 7 Warpath. Same reasoning. Leonine Great Helmet. So this one is interesting. So now what we're gonna be doing, we're gonna be taking our primordial slot away from our helmet because this is now a Nihilist. Let's talk about Nihilist. So this is like a Nihilist because we can kill regular Abberoth on the basic Warpath. I'm gonna be assuming you're gonna have access to this now. So you're gonna be trying to fish for a good Nihilist with +2 to all level skills with LP. It's gonna take you like I don't know, a couple dozen tries to kill regular Abbit until you get this. And then you just slam mana, tier 7 mana, and that's pretty much it. If you have duplicates, you try to fish for +1 to all skills and mana. If you have this exact amulet, like here, it's insanely powerful for the build. Again, I don't know how common these corrupted affixes are gonna be. We'll find out tomorrow when the patch goes live. And the helmet. So the helmet now it has tier 8 reduced channel cost. That's like the most important thing here. You need to have tier 8 reduced channel cost helmet to make this build work. Without this, the build just does not function. You will not be able to sustain Warpath. You need to have this. So you do not swap to Mana Stacker unless you have a prepared Lona and Great Helmet. Unless you have like most of this gear prepared, you do not swap. You don't put one piece of gear from here and put it over here and they say, oh, build is not working. No. You need to have the whole gear set for the Mana Stacker build to work. Very important. So wait for the swap, farm with the basic setup, get your gear, and then swap. And it's kind of nice because you have like 4 slots, which are pretty much the same. Even 5, I mean, except for the slams, so that's really, really nice. Even the flames of Mina is like pretty much the same. And yeah, low 9 helmet with health, mana, increased mana, health, more health, vitality sealed if you feel like going. If you found a Leona with like very, very high forging potential, these are still gonna be fine to imprint. And then you can maybe craft this. Again, the corruption damage dealt before mana is nice if you can get it, but I don't know how feasible this is. Again, corruptions are all optional. Probably except for the boots one. I think the boots is one like very realistic to get. But yeah, you need to have tier 8 reduced channel cost. It's a must. Okay, idols. We are gonna be using the pyramidal altar. I feel like this is like the best altar that's gonna be. A lot of other people have been talking about it. A pyramidal altar has like the most refracted slots. I don't know how easy it's gonna be to find these tier 7 increased effect of prefixes and suffixes. These drop corrupted, so we don't know how often these show up or how many drop per map. If you see this setup with like increased effect of suffixes and increased effect of prefixes and suffixes, GG. Like you have like an insane altar and then you put your idols in. Again, we're gonna be using one small weaver idol for this, like one slot here. Void penetration, fizz resist, or whatever resist you feel like you're missing. We don't cap resistances on the average, but with better rolls, since you're not gonna be like slamming stuff, you're gonna have capped resistances. You're gonna be taking these grand idol omens. So the nice part about pyramidal is there are no omen restrictions. So we can put like 4 of these powerful grand omen idols in here. Grab 3 to 7 vitality on all of them and grab melee void damage on all of them. And have these increased with the increased suffixes and increased prefixes and suffixes from the altar. And then you suddenly find yourself with like a lot of vitality and a lot of increased melee void. 1x3 idol, which has increased damage if echoed recently, and some elemental resistances just to cap us off. You can put more 1x1s if you don't need elemental resistances. I kind of like this one. It helps with the defenses. Also gets increased. Mana regeneration, health and mana idols pretty much. Void penetration idols if you need more resistances. Blessings, I always go for XP. We're gonna go for the crit multiplier, the mana, all resistances, armor while channeling. In this setup, we have about the same at max rolls of armor, a bit less tanky than the previous setup, but it has way more damage, and as you saw, it has a very, very big radius of Warpath, which comes from the Warpath node, Warrior's Fury. So, this has been changed now to have a maximum scaling duration of 10 seconds. So at maximum points, mana per second is gonna be 200 mana per second, and increased area is gonna be 1000, and damage is gonna be 1000. It's capped. So you're no longer gonna be able to, I guess, do 100k corruption or some silly things, but it's more than enough to just farm 1000 corruption. And the best part, Warpath will not outscale your mana returns from void essences because it's now capped. So you essentially can just stay at your maximum ramped up spin radius and damage for the entirety of the boss fight and for the entirety of the echo, which is amazing. And you can also keep it between echoes with a very, very simple trick, which I'll show you later. It's very, very nice. We also want to get movement speed because we're gonna be fast clearing. We're gonna be not taking away the points from Dark Nexus. We don't take points with Cycle of War. We just grab all the damage we can get, the void conversions, and yeah. So same tree on the rest of these guys. You can, again, flexible if you want to have more Abyssal Tendrils or you want to have more Shred. If you feel like you're implying enough Time Rot, then that's fine. If you don't feel like, then get more points in there. Same thing here. We have more points because Nihilist, so now we really want the full chance of Void Essences, and we want to get some points in here, some points in here. The rest are just like maxed out, as you can see. Anomaly stays the same. Symbols of Hope stay mostly the same. We put all the extra points into Heavenly Justice to get more crit chance. This helps a bunch. That's 100% increased critical structure because of our 5 symbols. And yeah, this is the mana stacker variation. Hey guys again, Future Zone here. I realized I forgot to explain the sustaining of the Warpath between echoes and the no hands setup. So let me just go over this pretty fast here. If you go into settings, ignore the menu you just saw. This is like for the character editor, so you can test. If you go into gameplay and you go to change inputs, and if we're going to use ability 1 to 5, and we bind one of these abilities on our number pad, right, like so, then we can use, let's say I put walk or tap on F, and my 9 key also can use it. So what we can do is, while number lock is activated and this works, we hold the 9 key, we click number pad, numlock, and then we release the hand from the keyboard, and now Warpath just continues going towards the cursor. And now if you just like click any menu, we can just like go over here, for example. If the game will obviously load. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. And now we just like you hover the mouse. We don't click anything. You can also do this with WASD if you feel like it. I don't know. I can do like either or. It doesn't really matter. If you get stunned, you'll be taken out of the skill, so that's like kind of annoying. That's why you kind of want stun immunity. But yeah, that's like the no hands playstyle. If you want to deactivate it, you just press numlock again, press 9 to stop. You can also stop it by alt tabbing. So it just stops it. But if you alt tab, the trick stops, so don't alt tab, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so experimental variation. So this is where practice and proven theory ends, and now this is purely speculation. So because of our new set from this patch, Weaver set, which gives 50% increased affixes on all legendary items, I felt like there's an interesting interaction we can do with the good old Clotho's Needle. So don't be alarmed, this weapon is extremely aspirational. So when do you want to try to go for this build? You only try to play the experimental Weaver Warpath if you have the Weaver items ready. Meaning, if you during your mana stacking playthrough, you will be clearing Lostwood Follies to kill Fate Weaver Clotho. She will drop this sword, and you'll be revealing the mods. If you find tier 7 melee void and tier 7 attack speed, the others don't matter. Those are like flavor. Even if it's tier 6 melee attack speed, okay, and you find this sword, then you should start thinking about trying out this setup. Now, I would maybe wait until you also have the Code of the Erased Sentinel with the mana and the melee void, and so in the increased void as well. These guys can come in later. I would for like best mileage, I would also wait for a swaddling with mana. Again, because we're gonna be taking these nodes here on the Weaver tree, more Weaver items and more lucky Weaver items, and we're gonna be also doing some a lot of prophecies from COF, so you can kind of target farm these, but it's very random in the end what you're gonna be getting from the Weaver wheel. So, and only if you have Clotos ready and the Code of the Erased Sentinel of mana with at least mana ready, I would also wait for gloves with both of these ready. I would not attempt this planner. But if you do have these items, and this is obviously really nice, extra movement speed, you don't need this, you can just keep playing with Darkstride or Army of Skin, because just play Darkstride instead. It's probably better, honestly. Yeah, so then you swap your Nihilist out. You're gonna be putting this amulet with the Weaver Shard from the set and the ring here. So we are losing swiftness, and we are losing the Nihilist for this effect. Again, this is like very experimental. I have no idea if this is worth playing. If I get the items, I will experiment it. This is like an interesting thought experiment. What if we get like the crazy Weaver items and then we have increased efficacy, right? Alternatively, there's also a world where you just say we don't play with the Code of the Erased. We can also just play with Shattered Worlds instead. So this is like assuming you already killed Uber on your mana stacker, which is 100% possible. I'm just like better at the game at that fight. I'll get better. We'll kill it on stream. And you have this. You have haste with this, so this really helps like with a lot of issues you might have with the code. So again, it's either Shattered World with tier 7 mana, only tier 7. Ignore these mods for now, and you get the increased effect of Frenzy. And if you have this plus the Frenzy corruption, right, like then it's like insanely GG. I think this is gonna be like the GG premium setup for the build if you can get the items. Do not try this without getting the items first. Do not break this build to get to this build. This is like purely theoretical. I have no idea if this will work. I'll try to get to this point. This is like my goal, to try to make this build work this season. But yeah, this is pretty much the setup. Did I forget something? Passive tree. Oh yeah, passive tree. Passive tree is gonna be the planner. It is mostly the same, but with mana stacking, we're gonna grab the crit nodes. I should say that you can. Yeah, this should be here actually. That was a mistake. Yeah, I can get like some points here. Yeah, there we go. I was like playing with this tree earlier to see like if there's like any better setup than what there is here. So yeah, save that. I think that's it, guys. Yeah, so happy season 4, boys. I'm so hyped up. I really hope that you guys have a good season start. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments or join on the Discord. And if this video helped you pick your season starter, or if you're a beginner and this video helped you in any way, subscribe and a like will be very, very much appreciated. They do help the channel grow immensely. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow on stream and on season 4. Cheers.